I thought that we threw everything at them there. Gave ourselves a good amount of overs to try and create things, and sometimes you need absolutely everything to go for you. Might look back at the odd missed opportunity, but all in all, it was a fantastic effort. From start of the day, that partnership between Joss and Ben in there, up to lunch, and then the way they went through the gears, Ben in particular, was brilliant. So to get us to that score, we knew that it was going to be very difficult for Australia to get any sort of result out of the game, and bowlers put in a real good shift. And credit to Australia, they managed to hang on.
So the series stays at 1-0, but with Jofra Archer now involved, the whole dynamic has changed, hasn't it, Joe?
It seems so. He's coming in and he's really has made a massive impact. Added a different dynamic to our bowling group, and I think has given Australia something different to think about. So it's really pleasing to see someone come in on Test debut and really shake up things, and live up to the hype, if you like, even some of the hype that he put on himself. I think it's really pleasing to see, and it makes for a very interesting last 3 games.
And just finally from me, I think it's very important with concussion, whatever sport it is, that in some ways it's taken out of the players' hands, because every player will want to play. But are you planning and expecting that Steve Smith will be playing in the next test, or do you think about that?
Yeah, that was a horrible moment. You're always trying to find different ways of getting players like Steve out. You never want to see anyone get hurt. And I couldn't believe that he managed to come back out and play. He's obviously desperate to do well for Australia and for his teammates. And just all of us in the dressing room, we just want to wish him a speedy recovery. It's not a nice moment. You never want to see someone go down hurt. So we'll plan for him to be ready to play, and have to keep trying to find ways to get him out.
You talk a bit about Jofra obviously giving Australia something different to think about. Does it give you something good to think about in terms of the way that you can use him and what it might do for your team going into Headingley?
Yeah, it does. As I say, he makes things happen when not many others in world cricket can. He's got such a unique sort of action and way of bowling, and obviously natural pace, which is always going to be in the game on any surface. So when you've got that and the skill of the other guys around it, it makes for a tasty combination. And I think that's one of the reasons why we felt we were always in the game tonight, and always felt we could get a result right to the end there. So he's obviously worked very hard and had quite a big workload this week, and make sure he does everything right to be 100% ready to go at Headingley.
Jack Leach came into this game without having played too much cricket, or certainly not bowled very much since the Ireland Test. How did you feel he went? You must have been delighted to get that level of control.
Yeah, I thought he bowled very well. In that first innings, pretty much went 1 and a bit and over, whatever it was. Took a wicket and managed to keep it nice and tight whilst we were attacking with Jofra at the other end. And then in the second innings came more to the fore as an aggressive option. So it's great to see him come in and make such an impact in a shortened game like that. You don't normally see spinners within the first 3 days of a game or have as much of an impact, even though it did spin more than you might think it might. But still, I thought he bowled brilliantly.
Obviously something that happened today had never happened before in terms of a concussion sub coming in, and Marnus obviously had a pretty big impact on the way the afternoon played out. Is that, I suppose, is it something that you have any thoughts about in terms of what the regulations are now, or just part of Test cricket now?
It looks like it's here to stay. I think most importantly, it gives the doctors and everyone that needs to an opportunity to assess someone and make sure they're absolutely fine, and try not affect the game too much. As with these things, it generally takes time to work out if it's going to be a real addition to the game or not. It's a difficult one. If someone breaks their arm and can't compete, is that the same? And it's hard to draw a line somewhere. It's obviously, I think it's good. I'll leave it at that.
And just one
waffle on otherwise.
on
Joe, at Edgbaston, it seemed like you guys had all the problems. Jimmy's injury, Steve Smith getting all the runs, a few other things. Not just through what Jofra's done here this week, but collectively, do you feel like you've reversed the momentum of this series and given Australia all the problems?
Things change quickly in sport, and it's just nice for us to be in a good place going into Headingley. We've still got a lot, win at least 2 games, but it was important we gave a really good response this week, and it puts us in a really good place going into that game. So really pleased with how we managed to take as much as we could from such a shortened game, and hopefully we can get it to 1-1 at Headingley.